And we're live. Hello, folks.
Oh,
Welcome to a beer and a chat. That's what we're gonna call it. It's a beer and a chat.
it does seem to be going that way.
Right?
Every week I need to get a beer.
With myself, Scott, and Adam, Dr. Monkeybot,
Hello.
and we're going to be talking about Y the Last Man, Volume 3,
Hmm.
titled One Small Step. First off, I want to say I really, really enjoyed this one.
Okay.
This was fantastic.
Because I'm reading back through it, I thought it was a little bit of a because the way it's split, the way
Yeah,
you get that two-part story at the end, it was a little bit different to what we've had before, which is just like one enclosed story arc. So yeah, I wasn't sure how you'd enjoy it, but yeah, no, I really like both parts of it.
yeah. That last part kind of threw me a little bit because I was
Uh-huh.
like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah,
And of course we'll get to that later.
yeah,
But the first part, what is it, like the first 5 issues of this arc,
yeah. I think
um,
it's five.
were just awesome. Like had me on the edge of my seat. Like I read through this in one day,
Mm-hmm.
and I was just like kept turning the pages. And Emily was like, my wife, she was like, "Is it time for dinner yet?" I'm like, "Fuck no. Do you understand? Like I'm on page 74. You have to fucking wait." Uh,
Yeah, you get a
because
lot of action in this
yeah,
road. Yeah.
yeah, it was really really good. Um, yeah, I don't know. I just thought it was awesome. Like the whole. Well, at the end of Volume 2, we find out that there are men alive in space. So Yorick and 355 and Dr. Man all set out with what's Russian lady's name?
Natalia,
Yeah,
who is one of my favourite characters, I've got to say, from just the way she speaks is
yeah,
amazing.
yeah. I love it when her and 355 start speaking Russian
Yeah,
and roles are reversed completely
yeah,
because when they're speaking English, 355 is like just speaking like you and I right now,
yeah.
and she's like, "I know speak well," and then when you flip over to Russian, she's going a million miles a minute, and
Yeah.
355's like, "Wait, I don't speak good," and I
Yeah,
thought that was really funny.
it's
Um,
fantastic. Just the translation that they come up with for some of the stuff she's saying is, yeah, brilliant.
oh yeah, but one of my like the first things that I really really loved about this one
Mhm.
was Yorick speaking to the other girl who's dressed like a man.
Yeah,
Oh my
yeah.
god, that had me fucking cracking up because
'Cause we should
okay,
say one of my favourite things going into this is Yorick starts off with a beard.
yeah, so Yorick's like here, right, with a beard, full on beard, like it's his, and then he meets this female right here who has like this goatee going on, and she's like, uh, if you cut some of your hair off and glued it to your face, it'd look more natural than what you got going on there. It's like,
Because you said something like, if you did that, you could almost pass as a guy. He's like,
yeah, yeah.
thanks.
And then he mentioned something about like his boobs taped back or something like that. Oh my god, that shit was funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, he says it's spirit gum and horsehair.
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
so we start off this volume with a fantastic joke. Um, I really loved that part, and then actually going back even more towards the front.
The
Um,
reference.
like the oh my god, like you saw me. I tweeted you
Yeah.
right when I read it.
Yeah.
Um, so Yorick and 355 or Yorick's laying down on some rocks, and 355 comes by and asks if he has a light because she found some cigarettes in a car, and he was like, "Yeah, he's like, I thought they would have taught you how to rub two sticks together." and it was funny. So he hands over this lighter, and she says, "Fuck communism," and right there, I lost it. Okay, for those of you who don't know, fuck communism on a Zippo lighter was a big thing in the Preacher series, which is a series I just read a few months ago for the first time and absolutely loved it. And for it to be referenced in this book, I was like, this is automatically like my second favorite series of all time. Like just based off of these first two volumes and that reference right there.
And I love the fact that then they go on to have a conversation about comics.
Yeah, exactly.
And he's like, yeah, this graphic novel I read, and 355 says, they can say fucking comics. It just does this whole meta thing where they're sticking it in there, and he's like, I guess. She's like,
yeah, I thought that was
fuck.
That was so funny because like it's one of those things where like they're speaking about the medium in which they are in.
Yeah.
I thought that was great. You could say fucking comics. Well, you just said fuck in a comic, and that was
with that and with the stuff that comes later, where it's like references and what happens in the series through another telling of the story. They do a couple of things where it's like he's obviously we keep saying a really great writer, but he's clever enough that he can do that meta self-referential thing without seeming like a pretentious cock because he undercuts it. By saying something about how when you do that you're like a pretentious cock.
Yeah.
Genius.
Yeah, it's so good. And this, like I said, this volume, I just loved the whole thing going on. So like we said, they're going. They found out that there's men in space. 355. Yorick, Dr. Mann, meet up with, what was it, Natalia?
Yeah, because they don't know going into this volume that there's guys in space. We know because we've seen like the flash into space.
Yeah, we know. They don't know. They're headed to San Francisco.
They bump into Natalia on the train.
That's right.
And she has an awesome fight with 355 on the roof of the train.
Fantastic. Like I felt like it was an old James Bond movie.
Yeah. Yeah, it was just great.
Just the fighting scene on top of a train while it's moving.
Yeah.
And
it's done really well. It's
paced
perfectly, so you're just like, oh.
Yeah.
Like a couple of punches, kicks, 355 nearly falls off the edge, hangs onto it. It's just perfect.
Yep. She has her fucking baton.
Yeah.
Love it. And then, as she's getting helped up, she notices the friggin' gold star. Because, you wear those every day.
Yeah, of course you do. You just wear that on your jumper as you're walking around, getting kicked off trains.
That was the only thing, I thought, I was like, really? She's wearing that?
Yeah, it does seem a little unlikely. You wear your medal all the time.
Of course.
Yeah.
I mean, I would, but that's me.
Yeah. I do love the fact that 355 and Dr. Mann have got a system set up now where if trouble looks like it's going to happen, 355 is just going to dose Yorick with drugs that are going to unconscious to stop him from getting into shit.
Yeah, I did like that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
the medal was a little
if something goes down, you know what to do.
I hate you guys so much. Yeah. So then you get the story backwards and forwards, 355 and Natalia with their broken English about 355's broken Russian about what is going on with these men in space. But it's like we were talking about with what was her name? Sonia? I want to call her Sonia, the last volume.
Yeah.
The way that she's just got a little bit of a potty mouth, she's got the good references and stuff, just makes you love her instantly. It's the same with Natalia, when she starts speaking, when you can understand what she's saying. And she's like, oh, thank Christ, I sound like a fucking retard when I speak English. And 355 comes
slow down.
Slow down, who is you? It's genius.
So funny. And then 355 and Natalia are speaking Russian up on top of this like racing train, and Yorick's climbing up the ladder behind. He's like, "Hey comrades, can somebody translate this?"
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
fun
it's
from the start. This one. The thing with this one that reading back through it, whereas the first two, it mixes the action, the sort of character stuff. There's a little bit of character stuff in this, and it progresses the story quite a lot, but it's more focused on the story and the action this one, I think.
yeah,
There's the few moments with Yorick or 355 that are kind of developing some of the character interaction, but it's more moving the story on. It's sort of picking up some pace a little bit, which is great. I think it was sort of it manages to, it sort of doesn't feel like there's nothing else going on other than action, but it's definitely more focused on developing a bit of a plot and some motion. I don't know if at this point, I don't know, it kind of feels like at this point they realised they were actually going to be able to carry on with this for quite some time. And
yeah,
Bourne was like, okay, we need to kick it up a gear because we've got a lot of story I want to tell in these 60 issues. Because it definitely feels like there's a bit more pace than the
yeah.
first ones.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then we finally get our astronauts talking about what they're planning on doing,
Mm-hmm.
coming down. Oh man, now I can't remember. I don't think
I
it
think
was.
just about the whole
Yeah,
process of them coming to Earth is going to be really touch and go of how they've
yeah,
been in space and things have corroded in the pipes and stuff. So it's just generally we're going to do it, but I'm not sure it's a good idea.
right. We're gonna do it, but this is gonna suck.
Yeah, we'll
Pretty much.
probably die.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Then of course we get our good friend Alter again.
you get a lot more Alter in this.
Yeah,
Well,
there's a
you
lot of
realise,
Alter in this
yeah,
volume,
you realise
and I
quite
liked it.
how. Yeah, you get a bit more of an idea of what a bad lady she can be.
Yeah, she is just
Yeah,
evil.
yeah. With she's very focused. I don't know if
Yeah.
I'd say she was evil. There is no grey.
Well, her whole outlook on what needs to happen,
Yeah,
uh, kind of makes her a little evil.
yeah. I mean, she's got that kind of Doctor Doom thing. It's like, to protect my people, I need to start a war where everyone else dies.
Right.
It's like in Doctor Doom's head, that's fine, and he's not evil. But to everyone else, that's kind of evil. You
Yeah.
can see where he's coming from.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's that kind of evil. She's not like cackling, crazy, slitting
No.
people's throats evil. She's
She's
very
Doctor
focused
Doom
to a
evil.
core. She's Doctor Doom evil.
She's
Down to
Doctor
the green
Doom evil.
costume. Yeah.
And then we find out who the shadowy figure is, who's been giving her intel and orders.
What did you think about that?
You know what? To be honest, it didn't surprise me.
No.
I
think
was kind of like, oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, they'd kind of been seeding it for a little while with like seeing seals on doors, and you kind of know that it's something a little bit presidential going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we've been spoiling everything else. We might as well spoil the shit out of this as well.
Yes, we might as well. So Alter's been getting her intel as far as where Yorick is and what needs to happen, her orders, from none other than Yorick's mother, of course. Yeah, that I thought I was gonna be super surprised, but then all of a sudden I was like, nope, okay, yep,
Right, yeah.
that makes sense.
Because then we get into like the reason that she's done it. Because it's kind of a bit of a she sent him off with them, with 355 in particular. So then she has to kind of explain why she's now sent Alter after them. And I don't know if it's I can't remember. I've been trying to remember if something else happens because reading through it again now is a bit like that's a little bit of a I don't know. It feels a little bit of an iffy, slightly forced reason for her to do it. It's like, oh, I found out more about the Copper Ring, and apparently they're not very nice. So I sent out the Israeli Special Forces to track down my son.
Right. It did. Yeah. I didn't quite get that.
No, it was. She's quite knee-jerk in the things that she does. It's like, go for this woman I just met. Oh no, chase after them. Oh, I just think it through a bit. Jesus.
It's like, I see a spider on my wall. I need a nuclear bomb.
Yeah,
You know?
pretty, yeah. And then you
Um,
find out how she's tracking them.
oh my god, that
Does not
actually
make me
upset
happy.
me.
Yeah.
I
It's
got
like,
very
you did
upset by that.
what? Yeah. Don't fuck with the monkey.
Yeah, so in order to track Yorick, I was wondering myself how she was doing it, like how she was getting to know where they were. But in order to do so, she fucking put a tracing whatever mechanism in ampersand in the monkey, and I was like, "You bitch! I want to stab you in the face."
Don't mess with him.
Yeah, for real. How are you gonna just like? I, I that's just not nice. How are you
No.
gonna do that to the monkey? Monkey did nothing to you.
Poor.
Wait, did I? I can't remember. Did they show ampersand like digging at his arm or something?
Don't think so. We obviously see him hurt later, but a different injury.
Maybe that's what it was. Maybe I'm
Yeah,
making it up.
no, we see him bleeding and stuff later and patched
Maybe
up.
that's what. Okay.
But that's from what happens later.
Yeah. Um. Never mind then. We'll get into that later. Um. So yeah, we well, we kind of go back to Yorick and them for a second.
Yeah,
Um. Just kind of like
it's more
like
setting up the plot, where they're going, what they're going to do. There's a hot zone in the middle of Kansas somewhere that's been hidden. And they're going there because the astronauts will be safe and protected, and it's contained, and there's no chance of them being infected with anything there. And Natalia does a whole thing about that there's been another Chernobyl-esque nuclear meltdown in Russia, and that it's all a bit of a mess over there. So she's quite happy that she's over here looking for this last Russian man alive. And there is one little moment in there where you get like a bit of Yorick being a little bit down. We get it coming up a couple of times. The whole his experience with Sophie coming back a little bit. So
yeah.
Natalia does this speech about in my country has saying even death is beautiful if you are not alone. And Yorick does just a little mutter to himself. Can you say so?
Yeah.
Which is really like, ooh, yeah, okay. it's still stinging a bit for Yorick.
Yeah.
He's grown a beard. He's obviously upset.
Right. That's what happens. You're upset.
Yeah.
You grow a beard,
Yeah.
and then fake that it's horsehair. And then we get more more from the space station, where the men seem to be fighting each other.
Yeah, they've gone a bit crazy.
Yep, because chemicals and all that, less oxygen,
Yeah.
and saying one's tampering with the other's suit, so when he gets to Earth, he'll be the last man, and then the other saying, "No, you're fucking with my suit," you know. But
Yeah.
it's all the crazy.
Yeah.
And then she,
There's stuff that comes up later that makes you think, okay, maybe that's what was sending him a little bit more crazy.
yeah, that surprised me.
Uh huh. Yeah.
And then I was like, oh well, I guess it doesn't because, yeah. Anyway, later. I did love how she had like the shot in her hand, and she said,
Yeah.
"This is enough diazepam to put a T-Rex in a coma," like breaking up the fight, and that was fun. And then she said she had the piloting manual in her other hand, so she could figure it out at least. And the guy's kind of like, "Oh well, yeah, all right, we'll settle down now."
Yeah, we'll just relax a bit.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
And then we get a little bit more Natalia at 3.5. Who's hot water in the car because she's cool.
Yep.
And then we get the first really shit Alta's proper mental conversation.
Yeah. And this happens quite a bit in this volume. You get this. You start to see more of why alter is the way she is and her views on the world, and like we said earlier, in order to keep her people safe, she starts a war with other people, so they get killed.
Because her whole idea is that because there is no war, her people will become weak, and the only way to keep them strong is to give them something to fight against. Otherwise, they'll turn on each other, and she's convinced that this is going to happen in America and everywhere else, and she's seen it happen in other countries. So she needs to give her country something to fight against to give them the focus, which really sort of harks back to what's happening with Hero, and you can kind of see that she's not alone in this way of thinking. There's others that like you need something to focus on, otherwise you go crazy.
Yeah.
It's just unfortunate that her thing to focus on is starting wars.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we get the great moment with Yorick and Natalia in the back of the truck.
I loved this.
Everything from start to finish in this scene was just fantastic. Just the conversation between the two of them backwards and forwards. And then Yorick does his whole thing where he does a big long speech about responsibility and how he's always avoided responsibility because it means his life will be easier, blah, 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 and he knows his own capabilities and his limitations. And then she just sort of leans back and is like, I had no idea what you just said.
Yeah. I don't know what you just said, but it's nice to hear a man's voice again. That was great.
I like the way they are with each other because she just kind of makes him realise that he's not quite. He might be the last man, but he's still a pretty useless boy in lots of ways.
Yeah.
And then
she's. Oh, shit. She starts unbuttoning her shirt.
And it's worth noting, Natalia is clearly portrayed as a very attractive woman.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So she just starts...
Yeah. Like, she's supposed to be this, like, super hot Russian.
Mm-hmm.
And I think doesn't even say that, he says something about her accent, finding her accent attractive.
Because he sat there and she starts unbuttoning, and then she's talking to herself. And
in Russian,
like,
yeah.
It's just like, what was it? Would you mind not muttering to yourself in Russian? Your accent is disturbingly sexy.
Yeah.
And he's just like, I've got a girlfriend and I'm trying to get to her, but you're taking off your clothes and you're muttering in Russian.
Yeah. And she's not even like she's unbuttoning her shirt because she's super hot.
She has no interest in Yorick.
Yeah, no interest in Yorick at all. And then, like he goes off, he's like, "Really, I have this girlfriend, and you are very hot. You're attractive." But then fucking 355 just slams on the brakes and he hits his face in the window. And oh my god, I started cracking up. And she like turns around, she's like, "Sorry about that."
Because I mean, you get the revelation from the last volume of her in a drugged up state, talking about wanting Yorick. That gets sort of played through in a couple of different ways here, and it becomes a really nice little quiet backwards and forwards with them that you're not quite sure how either of them feel about it, or if they're going to say anything about it, and when something is said, it's just kind of kept covered. But moments like this is just like, okay, she's not happy with Yorick talking to the Italian with the shirt off.
Yeah. Slams on the brakes and he hits his face. It was funny. But then they're in Kansas. They get to the hot spot, the underground layer, and come upon these two females. Of course they're females, because Yorick's the last man on Earth. Oh God. But they're dressed in like these hazmat suits and then spray Yorick down with this like this decontamination spray out of like a fire hose, like a big ass fuck off fire hose. And it was great. And we find out that they're twin sisters.
Yorick's reaction to that is great.
They're watching over this area.
Yeah, we're skipping forward a little bit, but the reaction from Yorick with that is great. It's just like, to Dr. Man, did you make them? It's like, they're not clones, idiot. They're twins.
Yeah, I love that. That was so funny. That's right. That's right.
But we get a great alter Doctor Doom evil moment at the
Oh
end
yeah.
of the issue with Yorick shining crosshairs of a rifle sight. And she actually says, Yorick Brown, we meet at last.
Yeah, I love that. So evil.
Yeah, that was Doctor Doom evil.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, that was funny. We meet at last.
So yes, then we flip to a little bit of space again, and it's just them getting ready to land. There's lots
Yeah.
of them preparing to come back to Earth whenever we skip back to them.
Yeah. Just kind of like saying a prayer,
Mhm.
you know. And oh god, I keep wanting to jump forward on that part of the
Yeah.
story because, like I said, that took me by surprise.
Yeah.
But then of course we get back to Yorick and 355 and Dr. Man and Natalia, and this is the part where we find out they're twins and not a clone.
Clones. That's man's face. Yeah.
But the twins are like tremendous fans of Dr. Man, and they're like,
Yeah.
what should I say? Your piece on organ blueprinting made me cry. Oh god.
Yeah.
Like obviously big fans.
Yeah. They clearly like Dr. Man a lot.
Yeah. So they're geneticist fangirls.
Yeah. And they basically decide what they're going to do, which is set up the hot zone for these. They take the news that there's astronaut men coming very well.
Yeah, they're like, yep, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, come in, it's fine, we'll sort it out.
Yeah. That's the thing. Maybe that's the thing about this volume that I liked. I've noticed because we're moving by really quick.
Yeah.
In talking, this volume is very just straightforward.
Yeah.
Like it's just there's men coming from space. This is Yorick.
Yeah.
And the group getting ready, getting prepared. This is the people in space getting ready, getting prepared to drop down. This is Alter trying to find Yorick, and that's this volume.
Yeah, it doesn't skip to any of the other story stuff that's going on. Really, it's very much focused on this. The astronauts coming. They've got to get to the astronauts. Alter wants to get to Yorick and to some degree the astronauts, but not really.
Yeah.
And you get that's it really. It's just that focus. Apart from until you get to that weird 2-part thing at the end.
Yeah, that was really weird.
Yeah, this storyline is just focused on that.
Yeah, I think that might be why I liked it so much.
Yeah,
because even though it was those that little bit of a part of it, it still felt like so much. Like it made you feel involved in all 3 parts of this one.
Yeah.
This one story.
Yeah. Yeah, it does. I've forgotten quite how quickly this one moves. So I read it in very little time at all. Just thought, this does really quickly. There's quite a lot of dialogue, and you learn a bit about Alter and ideas, and you get a little bit of Yorick and his kind of wanting to give up the responsibility of being the last man so he can go back to being a little bit invisible. And
yeah.
But other than that, it's just it's all about that action stuff.
Yeah.
So it's good to pick up the pace a little bit of that.
Yeah, and I even said I read it in one day in one sitting.
Yeah.
It just the pace of it was real quick.
Yeah.
But perfect.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't feel like there's anything wasted at all. It's just not to finish.
Yeah.
So Yorick shaved his beard off, which upset me. He had a pretty good beard going on there. Even though that transsexual prostitute told him he looked like a girl. I can see that would sting a bit, but You start to question the beard, I suppose, at that point.
Yeah, I would. I would. That doesn't look as real as mine.
Yeah,
Wait,
okay.
what?
Yeah. So then we get him shaven, talking down in the hot zone, and he has a nice little, some great Natalia in there as well. Which says, "You
Yeah.
clean up good, Yorick. Come enjoy hot mush in bag with me."
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, any time with her in it, I automatically enjoyed.
Yeah,
Like
because then
she's just
she's fantastic. She does her
yeah.
speech where they're talking about keeping the Russian guy in the hot zone an extended period of time. Says no, not acceptable, and then goes into the UN Charter and says it word for word.
Yeah.
And Yorick's response is, "What the? Cookie Monster speaks better English than you. Where did that come from?"
Yeah. Yeah, that was funny. She's like, I had a long boat ride to the States to memorize it. And then while they're talking, while Natalia and Yorick and 355 and Dr. Man are all discussing what's going on and about keeping the Russian astronaut, we get this big boom from outside. There's this huge explosion. Everybody's like, "What's that? What are we doing? Okay, let's go." 355. I'm gonna go check it out. And then Natalia's like, "I'm coming with you."
Mm-hmm.
And I I love 355 looks at Dr. Man. She's like, "Doctor, keep an eye on Yorick." And then he says, "I'd never do anything to fuck this up, 355. Scouts honor," because they had this little discussion about being a Boy Scout and being a brownie,
Yeah.
which was really funny. Because I used to be a Boy Scout. So when he did, like, this is the fucking thing. This is what you're supposed to do when you say your pledge or whatever. And having him do that was just, that made me laugh
Yeah.
because I was like, oh god, I remember those days. So young.
See, because I like that. I don't know if it's 'cause I've read it a few times or I'm reading too much into it now. There's lots of comic reference stuff in there. And when you get to the bit at the beginning where they're talking about comics and they talk about Superman, and he says about Superman's not real, I'm the strongest man on earth or something.
Yeah.
And when he says the Boy Scout thing, I was just like, which is a nickname for Superman, isn't it? I'm sure Batman calls him Boy Scout all the time.
Yeah.
I was just like, is that? Maybe a little bit. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm probably reading too much into that, but
I didn't get there, but that was because because I was in Boy Scouts, so I looked at it from that angle. But yeah, that's funny.
Yeah.
I didn't think about it that way.
And then we get a nice chat with obviously there's I'm jumping ahead. The explosion wasn't the spaceship.
Yeah, it was not. But I love this discussion they have on the way to the explosion.
Mm-hmm.
Because Natalia's worried because where this explosion was, they thought it was a spaceship,
Mm-hmm.
and it's so far away that Natalia's worried about it, and she mentioned versts. I don't know. It's a unit of measure.
Apparently,
In Russian, apparently.
Yeah.
And then 355 goes verts, and she says, "Sorry, in the English, verts is almost about one click." And 355 goes, "A click? That's a real word? I thought they only used that in bad Vietnam movies." I was like, "Oh my god." Somebody finally said it, because I always wondered what the fuck a click was.
But then Natalia's reaction to it is, "Are you high? Of course it's real."
A click is 1 kilometer.
Yeah.
It's like, I can handle metrics, smartass. Because it's 1 kilometer. That's 0.62 miles in American. Ah, God, that was just funny.
So yeah, they find
But
out what's blown up. It's not a spaceship. It's a tractor.
yeah, and
Um, which is
yeah,
clearly Alters set this up as a distraction to get the people that are going to run out of the building with a gun away from Yorick, so that they can go in and get Yorick.
yep,
Which
good
they do.
plan.
Yep. They talk about taking ampersand with them as well.
Yeah,
Yorick manages to put them off by saying he has AIDS and he bites.
yeah, I loved that. I thought that was so
Okay,
funny.
we'll leave the monkey.
Take him, ladies. Get the monkey too. You sure about that? She has AIDS and she bites. And then she said, "Ma'am, fine. Leave the damn animal with the woman. Just move." That was funny.
Yeah.
And this is like the whole rest of this part is just pretty much action.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Which I really liked. I mean, we haven't really had anything like this yet.
No.
Not on this scale. I mean, we'd had little fights and stuff with the
Yeah,
Amazons, but this is like full out battle, like with guns and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, this is like a full military conflict going on between them.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get to see how awesome everyone is at this point.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, you see how cool 355 is, especially with a weapon.
Yeah.
You see Natalia like take a bullet like a fucking champ and keep going. You see Alter and her like army girls going nuts. It's just crazy.
Oh, yeah. I do love, and just when 355 is like, there's lots of gunfire going on. 355's rifle either jams or runs out of bullets. I wasn't sure which.
I got the feeling that it jammed.
Yeah, that's what I thought as well. So she just runs directly at the next girl holding the gun at her, who's firing directly at her.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's awesome.
Yeah. And then I love like that girl's like the only English she knows. Take me to my hotel. How much does this cost?
Where is the library?
Where is the library? Oh god, that was so funny.
And then we get some more broken Natalia speech. 300 is
300 is you dead?
And then you see again like how she just takes a bullet like no one else. But I'm so sorry, I can't believe I fucking passed out like that. Like it's my first time being shot.
Yeah. Like, oh, okay.
She's been shot a few times.
Yeah, that was so funny. And then she ends up with a radio. 355 ends up with a radio from the Israelis she just kind of took out because she shot her with her own gun. And she speaks to Alter, saying that if you bring him back, you can have 2 men in exchange. And that ends that issue.
Yeah, and then we get start of the next one. We get the spaceship going back for re-entry.
Yep.
Discussion between the two guys about it's going to be there when they land.
Yeah. Vlad and I don't remember the other guy's name.
I don't know the other guy's name
either. Talking about like a parade. The women are going to throw him a parade. And like, who do you think I have waiting for us down there, Vlad? Some of those sexy nurses? And then Vlad says, perhaps a few of your cheerleaders.
Nope. You're going to have angry Israeli soldiers.
Exactly.
Yeah, so then Yorick, 355, basically tells Alter about the spacemen that are coming, and that she'll swap the 2 spacemen that are going to land for Yorick. And then we get one of these moments that suggests that we're still not sure exactly how much 355 feels for Yorick or vice
Yeah.
versa, but she basically says, like, Alta's like, well, why would you swap two for this stupid boy, two astronauts for this stupid boy? And her response is, because I'm in love with him. And it's a bit.
She what?
Yorick's like, yeah. But to everyone else, they're like, oh okay, that makes sense. Yeah. And then she's like, no, I said that as a plan. It's a ruse to try and get them to bring him back. Don't be ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you get this like.
Given that, there was another moment we missed actually that I was going to point out. When they're in the hot zone, and Yorick's talking to Dr. Mann, he's saying, have you seen pictures of the astronauts? Maybe there'll be someone there you could make a bit of a love connection.
Yeah.
And Dr. Mann's like, I find that highly unlikely. And she's obviously about to tell him something, and then the explosion happens.
Yeah.
So there's something coming with Dr.
Yeah. When we thought that
yeah.
355 was her and Dr. Mann. They're like as far as Dr. Mann, like her part, she feels kind of a connection more than friendship.
Yeah.
And we get kind of more of that idea in that part that you were just speaking of.
Yeah. Yep.
Yep.
There will be more, I'm sure. And then there's another comic reference. There's another comic reference as well, which is just fantastic. When Yorick's basically Alta lands the helicopter. They're deciding what they're going to do with this whole plan, and she decides she's going to take the astronauts and Yorick basically, and then talks about like how she's tracked him and how she's got him in his handcuffs and what the handcuffs are like. And Yorick comes back with, "Are you taunting me with a maniacal death trap? Why are you a Batman villain?"
Yeah, I love that.
I love that there's comic references all the way through this.
Yeah, that was funny.
Yeah, then we just get more action, pretty much.
Yeah, just but we start this sort of respect, I guess, from Alter's like right hand woman.
Yeah.
On Yorick's part.
Yeah. We should have mentioned probably Alta's right hand woman's been being a bit uncomfortable with the things that Alta's been doing pretty much all the way through this.
Yeah, she does
what she's doing all the way through.
Yeah, she doesn't agree with the whole start a war for war's sake. So she's been kind of questioning Alter, like you just said, through this whole volume. And it's starting to come to a head here.
Yeah.
Because she doesn't agree with taking Yorick and kidnapping him, pretty much. And then this really comes to a point here where she lets him out of the handcuffs.
Yeah.
Right? Or did I skip?
No, she doesn't let him out of the handcuffs. She's meant to be handcuffing him into a chair.
Oh, that's right.
She handcuffs him, but we find out that it's not handcuffed to the chair. He's able to get out of the helicopter. But yeah, before that we get the shuttle landing, and
that's right.
Also just showing how mental she is. We get the great "It's raining men, hallelujah" line.
Yeah.
It's just fantastic. And then Alta just breaks out a massive, great big rocket launcher to try and blow up the spaceship.
Yeah, this gigantic, fuck off, like ridiculous rocket launcher.
Yeah, and that's the thing that pushes number two to say, "Whoa, what are you doing? Why are you going to blow up astronauts with a rocket launcher, you crazy bitch?"
Right. And then Yorick comes and tackles her and strangles her with his handcuffed arms.
Yorick really stands up at this point. It's like, go on, Yorick.
Yeah, I love this part where he's like, Maybe I don't know how to get out of these things, but I knew how to get out. I know how to get out of a fucking chair. And then he strangles her, sets the rocket launcher off target,
Mhm.
so she misses the astronauts. And
Peter Garrett draws a good rocket launcher. It's good.
yeah, I mean, I've never seen one in person.
No, it looks good though.
It
I
does
imagine
look
that's what they look like. I've seen them in films. I'm sure that's pretty much right.
Yeah, I just loved this like fight between Yorick and Alter.
Yeah.
Where he just fucking kicks her in the fucking face. I loved that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, that was very cool. I really like that Yorick actually steps up a little bit there. It's like,
Oh yeah, he's not the you know.
he's not the guy getting stomped by 5 Amazons we see in the first flooding. He's actually learned a thing or two about being a bit more cautious about when he attacks, rather than just walking up and screaming at people.
Yeah, now he's strangling people and kicking them in the face. It's awesome.
Yes, and then we get more awesome. But
yeah, this was cool.
I've got a weird thing about snipers. I watch sniper films. I don't know what it is. I don't know why I find them really cool. But
I always wanted to be one.
Snipers and ninjas.
Yeah.
There's something really cool about both. I don't know what it is. I watch terrible, terrible films if it uses the word sniper in the title. So when you get a hot Russian sniper, it's like, oh, this is brilliant. This is perfect. Yeah, she basically takes out an entire platoon of Israeli soldiers without killing them. Just
she like shoots their hand and their leg, and 355's like, "Listen up, I'm sure at least one of you speaks English, so spread the word. At the count of 3, I'm going to stand back up. If you have all dropped your weapons and put your hands in the air, no one else will be harmed. If you try to kill me, you might succeed, but my sniper will stop aiming for appendages and start hitting faces. The choice is yours."
And I love Natalia's reaction when she's up in the tree and she shot them, and she says, "4 dumb kids, like hitting fishes in buckets."
Yeah. It's that broken English. It's so fantastic.
It's brilliant. And yeah, then we get a little bit more respect from 355 for Yorick again, because she realises that Yorick has managed to escape for himself. He didn't need to get rescued, which we see come back a bit later, that she's got some respect for that as well. That she's been like, "Oh, you escaped, well done." And then it's all about the landed craft that they've come down in.
Yeah. And yep.
That doesn't go very well.
Not at all. So 355 gets to the aircraft that is on fire.
Mm-hmm.
At the beginning of this issue here, you can see somebody crawling out from the top. Dr. Mann is there as well. And they manage to get the first person out and find out there's a hydrazine leak.
You don't want one of them?
Yeah. And because there's a hydrazine leak, this happens. Big fuck off explosion. Throws everybody to the ground. 355 yells fuck twice. Goes like she's about to run in and see if there's anybody there. Dr. Mann tells her no, that if anybody was in there, they're dead. Then we find out that the surviving astronaut is the female.
Mm-hmm. See, now, I don't know, again, I'm not sure if I'm reading too much into this, and I don't think I am. I think there must have been a conscious effort to connect this to comic-y type stuff. The spaceship landed in a cornfield in Kansas with last surviving man of the species. That's a Superman thing, right?
Yeah,
That's
that's
not just me
Superman.
reading too much into this.
No, that's 100%. I even
Okay.
caught that one.
Good. Because neither of us are particularly Superman fans, but even we, I think, I think that's
Yeah,
something to do with Superman.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
um, actually,
So yeah, have we missed a bit?
no. We find out that it's the female that survived.
Mhm.
York was pretty much told by Alter's number two because
Yeah.
Dr. Mann said it doesn't matter who survived
Hmm.
when York asked. And she said it doesn't matter who survived. And York says, "What does that mean?" Alter's number two says it means only the female survived.
Hmm.
Um, she apologizes for Alter's being crazy
Hmm.
and apologizes for being part of it. I now see what her name is because I'm looking at it. Sadie is her name.
There you go. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've forgotten that too.
She says she tried to stop Alter.
Mhm.
Um, you know, then York gets all pissed off. He's like, "I just kicked the shit out of your boss, and I can do the same to you," which is funny.
Yeah.
And she says it's not a weapon that she has in her hand. It's the key to the handcuffs she takes off of him and puts on Alter, saying that she's pretty much taking over as commander of this
Hmm.
group of females and is going to take care of Alter, do
Yeah.
what needs to be done with her.
Yeah.
Um,
That line at the end of that made me think, I'm not sure about that one. He's talking about like America and Israel and friends and blah blah blah, and she comes up with the line, "Don't you know this is what happens to friends when a man comes between them?" Which made me a bit. I'm not sure about that line.
yeah, that was kind of cheesy.
Yeah, it was kind of along the lines of justice is just a woman with a sword and take the blindfold off. But,
Yeah, yeah,
uh,
yeah.
I guess, but
Eh.
yeah, we'll forget that one. And then we get this really sweet moment. And Pia Guerra does this thing that I've noticed going through it again that she does whenever the character is kind of exposing what is beneath what they're saying, sort of the emotional reality of what's happening with them, where she shows them the completely blacked out parts of their faces.
Yep.
So it's like there's no facade there anymore. And she does that with this here in this really sweet moment. She does it with there's two. Yorick gets two moments where he's got blacked out face. One where he sees Ampersand for the first time since he's got back, and has the lovely little Ampersand's like,
Yeah.
like, oh, nice to see you too, buddy. What is that smell on your hand?
I want to know what it is.
Yeah, I imagine it's shit, but you know,
I
maybe
imagine,
not.
but I would
He knows.
I would
the
think
smell
he
of
knows
piss on
what
his
that
hand.
smells
Yeah,
like.
that's true.
So I'm
Yeah,
curious as to what it actually was.
yeah. And then he gets the moment with 355, which is just that one speechless, that one silent panel. If I can get it on there, yeah, where he just says
Yeah.
355, and then they come in and just have a hug where you can't see either of their faces and what's going on, but it's just a nice moment between the two of them. Really nice.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then he explained what happened with Sadie and Alter and the Israeli girls. Pretty much took the Israeli girls to Sadie, who has captured Alter pretty much,
Yeah.
and is taking them back.
Mm-hmm.
And 355 was like, "What?"
Yeah.
And
then
then she's like really surprised and impressed that she took him down. She took down Alter with a rocket launcher.
Yeah.
You took down an armed soldier with a rocket launcher? Yeah.
we get another moment where you see that sort of Yorick where you can't see his face, and he's talking about why he's reacted differently to the Alter Sadie situation than he did to Marisfeld. And he says, "I've had just about all the death I can take for a while," and it's just another little quiet moment where it's. I love those little bits in this because even though it is a fast-paced action one, you just get little bits like that all the way through that just really keep you in touch with the sort of emotional development of these characters, which is so important to this series for me.
Yeah. And then, oh god, this part I was like, yeah, she's talking. They're talking about how he took out Alter, and she's impressed, and she says that I'm not saying I want you to keep pulling your stupid stunts, but you did okay today. You're a hero.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, fuck, like, Christ, please don't use that word. If there's one thing I never want to become.
Yeah.
And then she realizes that his sister's name was Hero, like she remembers.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, oh, fuck, I'm sorry.
Yeah. It makes a nice little joke about it with the calling those sandwiches subs, not,
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then she's, oh my god, I forgot about this part. And then so they're sitting there and they're talking, and he says, hey, let me ask you something. When you were trying to convince the Israelis to give me back, and you told them that you were in love with me, you didn't mean it, did you? And she shoots him his glance. He goes, nigga, please. I was like, oh, God. And then he goes, whew, I was hoping you would say that.
And then you get this incredible. Peter Guerra manages to capture this unbelievably awkward moment between the two of them so well.
That bottom panel, you're like, oh, no.
Yeah, the two of them just like, looking up in different
I'll look over here.
Okay, yeah, this is uncomfortable. And then we get the stuff that surprised you.
Yes. Blah, 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 Dr. Mann and her talking. And
so this is the astronaut lady.
Yeah, the astronaut lady. Oh my god, man. So as the craft crash lands into the ground, it's on fire. She's explaining this all to Dr. Mann, and Vlad and the other guy who we don't know, we don't remember his name, is like pushing her out of the vessel. And they kept saying women and children first. Same thing over and over. And Dr. Mann's like, they jeopardize the future of mankind for chivalry. And the astronaut lady says, never. Those two men were the bravest, most noble. Doctor, when they said women and children, they meant it literally. And Dr. Mann's like, you mean you're pregnant? And I was like, oh my fucking god, she's pregnant. And it was like, oh, I should have figured that out, because really, they've been in space for months and months. There's a female and two males. Of course, something's gonna go down.
Yeah.
And then
no, just with one of them.
Yeah, and then Dr. Mann goes, which one's the father? And she says, I don't know. I love them both so much, so fucking much. So,
yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just shine a bit of light on them going crazy and trying to do each other in as the spaceship's coming into land.
Yeah.
There is a slightly heightened tension there, the two of them.
Yeah, that part just took me by surprise. Like it's one of those things like after it happens, you think about it, you're like, I should have fucking figured that out. I should have thought of that.
I've just flipped back, and there's on the panel where they're fighting each other and floating about in space. On the wall, there's a taped up picture of the Virgin and Jesus, just like mother and child on the wall. Oh, you bastards!
Yeah.
You see it that way. That they're really obviously, and we just missed it. Okay.
Yeah. So we kind of get like the ending of that. Everybody learns that the astronaut lady's pregnant, and 355 asks, do we know the sex yet? And Dr. Mann, like this is where I wasn't sure. I don't know. She's like, she's only 3 weeks along. Too early to tell. 3 weeks. It's almost too early to tell that you're pregnant.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Usually, you don't find out you're pregnant until you at least miss, one period or two.
Yeah. I think quite early on for her to be like, oh no, definitely. But
yeah, I mean, I don't know.
yeah,
I don't know. Whatever.
that's overshadowed by Natalia turning up with
Yeah, of course.
armfuls of weapons.
Just armed to the teeth. Rocket launcher on her back. I loved it.
Yeah. Yeah. She decides that she's going to stay and she's going to protect this installation and the potentially Russian child of the female astronaut, which is just awesome. I love the fact that she's just staying there armed to the teeth.
She's like, and this is why you will please be leaving them in the company of me.
And then there's the next sentence where Yorick ends up saying, I would love to diagram that sentence.
Yeah.
Because of Israeli women's, I now have many of banging artillery to use on anyone who might brought trouble in.
Yeah.
What the fuck? You kind of get what she means, but it's just...
Man, I would love to diagram that sentence.
Okay. And then you get a nice little moment with Natalia and Yorick, where he says, she says, you're a good boy, Yorick. When you're done, you may even be an okay man. Oh,
yeah. That was
nice,
kind of...
a little emasculating.
Yeah, just a bit. And then we get Sadie and the Israeli women taking off with Alter handcuffed and black bagged, and they get a phone call from Yorick's mother, of course.
And Sadie basically says, we're not having anything to do with that. That's just ridiculous.
Yeah. And she just wants to know what's going on with Yorick. And she's very concerned. And suddenly we see a shoulder saying, nice to see that you're worried about me. And she turns around and it's Hero.
Yeah.
Of course. And you're just like, oh god, her again.
She's back. And that ends that arc. It doesn't end this volume, but it ends that arc.
It ends the arc, but yeah, like you said, not the volume. This second part of this volume, quite, like, completely different. Like, I got the same feeling from this as, like, I did Sandman, kind of. Just because it, like, switched gears completely.
See, this, I think it's, I don't know if I think it's me reading too much into the comic stuff, but the fact that he's made so many comic references in this made me think he wanted to do a Watchmen, this is my weird break, change of pace pirate bit.
Right, like yeah, the Black Sail or whatever.
With the black pirate bit?
I forget what it was called.
Yeah, the pirate bit.
Yeah, the pirate, kind of really, the pirate story.
Which cuts in, changes the pace, and ends up being a commentary on what's going on in the main book. And he does that with his own version of it, with this pirate scene that you just come into in the middle of and have no idea, even though it's quite clear this is all women dressed up as pirates.
Yeah.
What the hell is going on? And it turns out it's a troupe of actors that are going around. And again, that did actually remind me of Sandman as well, with the Midsummer Night's Dream bit that they do when they're going across the hills of Sussex and do their play with the troupe of actors. Yeah, I think everyone clearly knows how to do little references to comic stuff. He knows his stuff very well.
Yeah, very well.
Yeah.
This isn't really like this part. We don't really have to delve into.
No, not really.
Not really. I don't think it really has any bearing on the overall story of Y: The Last Man. It's just this kind of. Does it?
No, I'm not going to say it doesn't have any, or I'm not going to say it doesn't have some. But
Well, fine then.
we don't. I don't think we have to delve into too much. There's a lot of setup of these are a group of female actors and directors that are traveling the country trying to put on plays, and there's a lot of setup for that. I think it's only when we really start to get into the appearance of one of the characters we know and some of the stuff that goes on in the play that it starts to become a bit more connected to the main story. Because it's just bickering between actors at the beginning for the most part.
Yeah, really. I mean, yeah. This wasn't really. I don't know. It didn't seem very important as I was reading it.
Yeah, no, I don't remember this being much important.
Yeah, it's just. I mean, okay, it's just this acting troupe.
Yeah.
Going across, like going through the land,
Hmm.
putting on plays, like classic plays. They come to one city of women who seem very like upper class, well put together women who just want to play of their soap operas. Yeah,
she brings the soap opera digest. She's like, can you just act out the next couple of episodes of our favourite soap operas, please?
exactly.
And we should mention the artist change as well. They get a guest artist for this 2 issues, so it's not Pia Guerra, it's Paul Chadwick comes on.
Okay, I was wondering.
And it's not. There's no jarring difference there. It feels like it's Y the Last Man, but it's clearly a different artist.
Yeah.
Still very good.
Yeah. Well, then I'm assuming it's Ampersand.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much comes in to the fold. They love him.
Yeah.
Assume he's a female and then realize he's not. That was kind of funny because he's like dancing around naked, and of course you don't see it. You just see his back, but it's like he's just like shaking his stuff for the females.
And there's a couple of great quotes there, which I'm going to embarrassingly read out. Which is one's like, maybe it's just an enlarged clitoris, or one's goes, oh, and then this woman says, yeah, never seen a little man in a boat do that before. It's like, and I've never heard the clitoris called a little man in a boat before. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that was funny. Oh, there is this ninja chick.
So yeah, Ampersand and the ninja.
I forgot there was the ninja chick.
The ninja might be worth remembering.
I figured because
she's a ninja.
She's a ninja.
You should always remember a ninja.
Exactly. But the ninja is just in the background. There's.
Yeah. So they bring in Ampersand. They bring him in. He's got a cut on his arm, which they say looks like it's been done with a knife or something along those lines.
Yeah.
They patch him up, and then the playwright gets the idea for what she wants to do in an original play, which is about the last man on Earth. And Ampersand's kind of her muse for this. And then we get this ninja in the trees with night vision goggles and the swords.
Yep.
And then we get in the final issue of this volume, we get glimpses of their terrible, terrible play.
Oh god, it's god awful. Like every cliche thing you could think of when you speak of the last man is what happens. Women running to him and bare chested.
And the bit that starts it with she's this strong, independent woman who comes home and it's the house she shared with her husband, and she realises that she can't get the jar of artichoke hearts open.
Yeah.
He always opened the jars. That fits her over the head.
The jar of artichoke hearts. Yeah. A terrible, terrible play, but yeah. Then seemingly Yorick 355 and Dr. Mann come in to the playhouse because they saw a poster.
The ninja's in the background for all this, like on rooftops, and you get a conversation between the ninja. We find out the ninja's name, and the ninja having a conversation with whoever it is that's
Oh,
hired
that's
the
right.
ninja. So yeah, the play's going on. She's in the rafters watching all this through her night vision goggles. We find out she's called Toyota, and she's talking to someone called Dr. M, who has hired her to track down and to capture Ampersand, basically, and is willing to let her sort of do whatever it takes to get this monkey back. Draws the line at her killing an entire theatre full of women,
Yeah.
which is nice, really. So yeah, the ninja is a little bit annoyed with this. Would much rather be killing all these people because of their terrible play.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, and then ends up sort of legging it, lowering off because it's just as soon as Yorick and 355 and Dr. Man turn up, just decides that I've had enough. I'm going to leave. This is all going a bit out of hand. And yeah, Yorick 355 and Dr. Man come in with gas masks on and the suits, and
Yeah.
say they're from the World Health Organization that the monkey's got. Did they say avian flu or something?
Yeah,
like
Asian
that?
flu.
Asian flu.
Highly contagious Asian flu. I
So
like
they're
that.
trying to breed hermaphrodites to survive. And, yeah.
I loved that. Actually, this part was really funny. Like talking about where was it? They
With the actress. The
yeah
actress with the male genitalia.
yeah
Yeah.
yeah they say give him back to us, and absolutely not. We patched his wounds. We patched up whatever you monsters did to him. He belongs to us now. And one of the lady who hired the troops to do a play says he, and I don't know if it's Yorick or it's one of the three because the gas
It's
mask.
got to be Yorick from that
Yeah,
conversation. That sort of conversation would not come from 355 with Dr. Man.
right. He says, "Oh, it's not really a boy. It's a female with male genitalia, like that actress. What's her name?"
Yeah. Not you. No, the one
Yeah.
from that
Oh, not one
Fullerton.
of you. The one from all those horror. And then what my associate meant to say is that we've been working on genetically engineering a new breed of plague-resistant hermaphrodites. Unfortunately, the specimens we've created are so far like the monkey that escaped our facility. Might also be carriers of a highly contagious Asian flu. It's just funny.
Yeah.
And then Yor gets him back and he says, "Welcome back, shit slinger." So
And then you get you get a little fill-in bit of what it was that led to Ampersand being gone, which is Yorick says, "I told you, Doctor Man. Sorry, I told you, Doctor Man. When I woke up, Ampersand's travelling case was empty, and some ninja chick was jumping out of our train car." And Doctor Man comes with a ninja chick.
Ninja chick.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love the last part.
And he does get him what the play's about.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, wait, I need to know. Does it have a happy ending? Of course, the last man saves the world. Really? How? By committing suicide and letting the women save themselves. Then you see Yorick with his head down, and he's like, "No offense, but your play sounds like a piece of shit." That was great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's the volume.
That is volume 3.
Yeah, I think I like the little two-part bit that follows up on that really fast-paced thing. Then it's got its own self-referential stuff going on and introduces another part of the plot that may appear with a ninja.
Yeah. I want to see more ninja. Everybody likes ninja.
And I love that they were like, what can make a ninja cooler? Night vision goggle ninja.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's it.
That'll do. Yeah. It's a good volume, and it does have one of my favourite covers of the whole series, which is
Oh yeah, I like that one too.
that's amazing. And then the whole Alastor Yorick scene, just
Yep.
fantastic. And I do love that they have a conversation about giving the lead characters names from Shakespeare being pretentious and a stupid thing to do.
Yeah, yeah, that was funny.
Yeah. So yeah, it was good.
Yep,
It's a
very
good
good.
one. Yes, it really picks up the pace, keeps it moving, keeps all the storylines going, brings in new stuff. It's a good volume.
Very good. I enjoyed it
Yeah.
quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Before we went live, we were talking, and we will not be doing our get together next week, as somebody will
Sorry.
be on holiday.
Sorry. Sorry, yes, I will be taking a week away, so there will be no video from me.
No, that is perfectly fine. Everybody deserves a nice little vacation holiday getaway.
Little break.
I want one.
You get the best one ever because you get to buy comics for 4 days, whatever it is.
I was gonna say mine's coming up though.
Yeah, that's going to be a good vacation.
Yes. For those of you who don't know, we're referencing Motor City Comic Con coming up in 2 weeks. I'm super stoked, and it's gonna be 3 days of nonstop comic-y goodness.
With comic good friends.
Yes, with comic-y good friends. The Incredible CJ and the Dark Knight 40 will be joining me, and I believe Mr. John DaCosta may be coming as well. So that will be fantastic. But yes, no Why the Last Man hangout next week, but we will come back the week after
Yep.
with Volume 4.
Mm-hmm.
And we're just going to take a week break, really. That's going to be it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess that's it.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah. Thank you, everybody who watches these. I hope you're enjoying them. I've actually been told by a few people that they've been rereading this series or picking it up because we've been doing these, which
Cool.
is fantastic. Very,
Really?
very cool.
Yeah.
I mean, that's partially why we're doing these.
Mm.
Not that it needs much more attention drawn to it, but it is to draw a little more attention to this fantastic series.
Yeah. Yeah, people talking about it, reading it.
Yep.
It's well worthwhile.
That is true. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, please, if you have any questions or anything like that, I don't think we had any in our last one.
Mm-hmm.
Drop us a comment, and we'll answer the questions or whatever, or we'll get back with you somehow. Or you can just follow us on Twitter. We talk about it all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess that's it.
Sounds good.
We'll see you in 2 weeks, folks. Have a good one. And have a fantastic holiday, Adam.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Too excited for Motor City while I'm gone.
Yeah.
Cool.
Very excited. But we will see everybody in 2 weeks. Bye.
See ya.